Hello, everyone. This is Senior Biotech Analyst John Vandermosten. Welcome to our channel that educates the life sciences investor on exciting advancements in drugs, biologics, and devices. For more content and news like this, subscribe to our channel below and like or share with others. There are many drug companies working on cancer treatments, but many lack the proper tools to match the right drug with the right patient. Not true for Allarity Therapeutics, which uses precision medicine and our understanding of genetic and molecular profiling of tumors to fight cancer. We welcome Allarity's CEO, Jim Cullum, to our program and delve into the intricacies of its DRP, or Drug Response Predictor platform. Jim, help us understand what DRP is and how it is able to guide the use of existing medicines.
John, our DRP platform technology attempts to address the complexity of cancer in order to generate drug-specific companion diagnostics that can help us select the most likely responder patients in a few important ways. The first is that cancer is by far the most complex human disease that we're aware of. It's not simple, and much of what is going on inside cancer cells and tumors, we just don't know the mechanisms yet in the field, and we may not for some time. In accepting that, the DRP takes essentially a snapshot of all the important molecular activity that's going on in cancer cells at a transcriptomic level, which is the expression of genes. And there are roughly 25,000 genes being expressed and active at any time in a cancer cell. So it's quite a big number. So we start by recognizing we need all that information. And secondly, we let the tumor tell us what's most important to its response to a drug or its lack of response to a drug. So we don't make assumptions about what's important. We let the tumor tell us. And when we take that approach with the DRP, with a refining step that we use, that we've developed over about 15 years, we end up with a DRP score for a particular drug that we can use to determine whether a given patient will respond or resist.
Great, Jim. Well, that's a good description. I feel like I understand it much better now. We face development costs that are too high, success rates that are too low, and trials that take too long in the biopharmaceutical industry. So, it seems like DRP can add something and help address this problem. How do you think DRP can do that?
Like many other approaches before us and approaches that are going on in the field now, it is sort of the holy grail to try to bring technologies to cancer drug development and the use of cancer drugs once they're approved and on the market, to be able to pre-select the patients that should get the drug, they're likely to respond, and to avoid treating patients that are likely to not respond so that they can move on to other more potentially beneficial therapies. That's precision medicine or personalized cancer care. That's where the DRP, we believe, can make a mark. And we hope that we can show that in our ongoing 3 clinical programs, eventually bringing these novel drugs to unmet cancer needs together with the DRP companion diagnostic to pick the right patients.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like you're able to just take the patients that are going to respond and ignore the other ones, whereas most trials just take everybody. So that's the message I'm getting from you there.
Right. And one extra thing, if I can add, John, that each drug-specific DRP score that we develop is a composite score of a lot of biomarkers where the score of the DRP goes from 0 to 100. Folks that are down, patients down towards the 0 scale, those are the ones that are highly likely not to respond to a drug. They should move on to something else. Those are that are up towards 100 are the most likely to respond, and they should probably receive the drug. So using the DRP, we're selecting the likely responders while excluding the likely non-responders at the same time.
It's helping the patients a lot too, because you're not sending patients who might not respond to use the therapy. They'll go on to something else that might work. So it's actually better for everybody all around. We've got for any drug, you need to go through the regulatory process, right? It's just part of what we've got to do. And, Allarity's therapeutics are no different. But what is different is that you have a therapeutic and a diagnostic that go together. How is the regulatory process different for what you offer compared to some sort of other company that just has a drug by itself?
John, so as everyone in our space knows, everyone that's working on a companion diagnostic plus oncology therapeutic knows, ultimately there is a separate group within the US FDA, the devices division or the devices group, that has to examine the utility and the robustness and the various parameters of the actual diagnostic and do their own separate approval, which is called the PMA, alongside the therapeutic division's examination and hopeful approval of the drug itself under the drug approval application, which is the NDA. So there is a fairly stringent and robust examination and regulatory component to having a companion diagnostic approved alongside a drug. But that being said, it's a very well-known and sort of clear regulatory pathway. Companies like us just have to meet the standard and hopefully get the approval on the diagnostic and the drug.
Right. One thing we've been hearing about a lot recently is AI. Especially with ChatGPT, which came out late last year, and it seems to be everywhere. And and now even normal consumers can get a sense of what it's capable of. How is Allarity's DRP platform similar to or different from AI that we're hearing about?
Great question, John. There's obviously a lot of excitement in the field and buzz going on about AI in the development and use of cancer therapeutics. It's not new. It's been around for probably 20 years that companies have been looking to use advanced computing techniques to design and advance better drugs. The place that it's really getting its most traction is in preclinical drug design and drug optimization, where you can use advanced computing to sort through, potentially millions, if not more, of compound structures, examine how they interact with their targets in the cell. And the idea of the AI is that the machine can learn, the computer can learn as it goes through these processes of sort of what works and what doesn't. It isn't a technology that's really come into the clinic yet as far as patient selection, and certainly isn't out on the market yet as an regulatory approved companion diagnostic. We don't really describe DRP as AI per se because there isn't the machine learning component, but DRP certainly involves some strong computing power in our system to sort through that great amount of molecular data that we talked about when you take a global snapshot of what's happening in a tumor to try to refine that to something that you can use with a patient in a specific DRP score.
Great. Well, thanks for the clarification. And Jim, we appreciate you explaining how DRP works and how you're using it to find new therapeutics for cancer patients. Again, we got Jim Cullum, CEO of Allarity Therapeutics, ticker symbol ALLR.